Nia Bia says when she was being strong on boundaries, you weren't attracting anyone. Maybe you needed to have a space of clearing. When you are in a space where you have constantly attracted the wrong men, and then you start to shift, there may be a dry season, because that's your time to get into yourself, to figure out what your boundaries are, and to be strong and committed to those boundaries for yourself. Here's how I know that you were not actually strong in your boundaries, Nia Bia, because you decided that it wasn't working. You decided that it wasn't working. When you're really strong in your boundaries, what happens is that things will begin to shift around you. Life will begin to open up for you. You'll begin to enjoy life more because you're focusing on yourself and you're doing it for yourself. But if you are attempting to be a version of you in order to attract people, then that's where the problem happens. Like I said, when I'm working with clients, it's about trauma resolution. Let's clear any emotional blocks or barriers that are here that's stopping you from getting love. Let's create a sacred self-care plan. How can you take care of yourself, mind, body, soul, in a consistent way that creates and opens up space for love and pleasure because you're living in love with yourself? And then how do we reconnect you to your feminine energy so that your body speaks to you, so that you can understand and interpret your intuition, and so that you easily attract people who are aligned? Then we talk about the relationship stuff. So some of you want to just jump from being toxic and having trauma and all these emotional blocks and barriers to just attracting the man. That's not how it works. And if you always attract the wrong men and then you realize you're not attracting anyone, that means that improvement is happening. That means that your signal is changing and shifting. But you have to have patience in order to allow yourself to move to the other side of that. If you go from attracting all the wrong men to then not attracting any man, that means that you are shifting and you are changing. And that's a good thing. But you get afraid in that shifting and changing stage because you're not being validated by some man. And so you say, forget it. I'm going to go back to being the me who attracted the men that I don't want, that don't treat me well. You have to be able to move through that process of transition.